The Inflation Reduction Act is making its way towards President Biden's desk. The $430 billion bill is focused on climate change and healthcare. The president has already signed the bipartisan $280 billion CHIPS Act to boost manufacturing of semiconductors here in the U.S. The severe chip shortage has added to the supply chain slowdown and helped fuel inflation. So joining us now is Olaf Groth, professor at UC Berkeley School of Business and CEO of think tank Cambrian Futures. Thanks so much for joining us. What are the business and economic implications of the CHIPS Act as well as the Inflation Reduction Act?
Yeah, Amanda, that's a great question. That's really where the rubber hits the road, right? What is this going to mean for us on the ground as doers and as consumers? I have to say these two bills, both the CHIPS bill, CHIPS and Science Act, as well as the Inflation Reduction Act, which is also sometimes called the Climate Act, will have a substantial impact on the economy. They're really unprecedented for a country that has a really hard time with industrial policy, but we're finding ourselves in a new global economy that is in large part influenced by China, and that competition forces us to put our best foot forward. So we're going to be seeing about $50 billion here in the CHIPS Act dedicated to new manufacturing, which will mean new jobs. We're seeing unprecedented, matching funding from the likes of Micron and Intel and Qualcomm to develop new facilities with new jobs throughout the country and in other markets that we consider allies. And with the climate bill, likewise, $60 billion for manufacturing of solar panels, wind turbines, new heating systems, transmission lines, et cetera. All of that will create new jobs, will lower the cost of energy as well, will lower our reliance on supply chain bottlenecks around the world. There are some potential pitfalls here, right? Not all of that money will stay in the United States with global supply chains, but with some safeguards, we're seeing some fundamentally positive impact on this, not to mention health impacts from the climate bill, which also will hit our pocketbooks.
And inflation, of course, has had an impact on all of us, but are there any silver linings to all of this?
There is. And I believe that we're seeing a great purge, as it were. For one, of course, the economy overheating that's being handled very well by the Fed. And that is already evident here in that from June to July, we've seen a holding of the inflation rate. So really between the 2 months, 0% inflation. Really over the last decade compared with the 1980s, we've only seen a 29% increase. As opposed to, much higher 70, 80, 100% increases. So on the purely financial front, things are holding. It's too early to tell whether that is the final picture. We haven't seen the end of all of that yet. But at the same time, there are some things that the Fed itself cannot control, like global supply chains, like energy supplies from Russia and elsewhere, like the food crisis that we've seen unfold thanks to wheat being hung up in Ukraine, where we are now putting new policies in place, including these two bills that we just saw, to make sure that we rejigger the systems, the economic systems, the technological, the manufacturing systems, the supply chain systems, to be more resilient in the future. And so I think we're going to be looking at a more resilient economy going forward, and that is really the silver lining of it all.
And finally, turning now to Elon Musk, he just sold nearly $7 billion in Tesla shares ahead of the legal battle with Twitter. Why did he sell them? I know there's a lot of talk about people saying he needs to up the money he has because of everything going on with Twitter. What do you think's going on here?
Yeah, I think you're right about that, Amanda. I think the speculation out there is that he knows that he's either cutting a deal with Twitter as we speak, or he's preparing for the courts to rule against him, that the deal will have to go through. And of course, then he will have to have the cash on hand to pay his cash share. Even more so, as there seems to be a little bit of uncertainty as to how many of the private equity partners that have said they would go with him into the deal will still be with them. And if somebody drops, then he will have to make up with his own funding. And I think it's smart to liquidate some of his shares early and not do a fire sale, right? So this is by no means a vote on Tesla, as it is just preparing for the eventuality or maybe even the likelihood that this deal will have to go through. It's going to be remarkable from a number of angles, one of them being that we now have a conglomerate tycoon of the sort that we haven't had in, I don't know, the better part of 100 years since the Carnegies and Rockefellers of our country, or, pick any tycoon abroad. Very different from the Bill Gateses of this world. And Elon Musk is going to have a fundamental impact on our economy in a number of sectors, from social media to transportation construction, and energy. And so this is going to be a fairly structural change here for us beyond the deal itself.
All right, definitely needs to get his finances in order before all of that. Dr. Olaf
He sure
Groth.
does, yeah.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it and for your insight as well.
Thank you, Amanda. It's been a pleasure as always.